And welcome to another session of What the Tech on Tech Tuesday, being brought to you live on multiple platforms. I'm Rolando with Global Tech Worldwide, and as always, joining me on What the Tech is my co-host, the man from New Hampshire. Wait, you over here? The man from New Hampshire, Dave Kelly.
Wow, what an introduction, Rolando. Hey, listen, it was really good hanging with you yesterday doing Cyber Monday. It's been a year since we did the last
Cyber Monday. We had a bunch of fun. We answered a bunch of customer questions, showed a bunch of products, and I had a really good time with you, Dave.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, I know that we're let's see, what would that be our anniversary for streaming?
I don't know. You got to go back. Yeah. I still remember when we did our first one over in just outside of Boston in that studio. And who knew we'd be able to do that kind of stuff here from remote locations, right?
Well, we had no choice, but yeah, it all started with Amazon Live, right? That was our first kind of jump into it. We rented a studio, we rented a producer, we got a cameraman, we got an audio person, we had set design.
That's right.
Wow, we've learned a lot. I think we did about 100 different products that day as well. So yeah, we learned a lot. We got to narrow things down, and that's what we did today.
No, we did too many products, and we did 4 hours. That's there's a few shows on the Latino shows that have the Sábado Gigante. If you're one of those folks that you're old as I am, they used to be a 4-hour show. You know, you had variety shows on the weekends that were that long.
No kidding.
Boy, those guys and gals that did those shows get big props. It's a lot of work, and you're exhausted after a 4-hour stint.
Oh, can imagine. Yeah, it's a lot of work for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, quick read from our sponsor.
Go for it, Dave. Who do we have lined up today?
This special edition of Tech Tuesday is brought to you by none other than Global Tech Worldwide, your technology experts providing trusted personalized office IT solutions for over 20 years. 20 years, man. We're really dating ourselves.
Oh my God. 20 years in the business, Dave. But you know what? A lot of folks and a lot of organizations did not make it to this point. I've seen a lot of businesses come and go. Some merged, some divested, changed names, some completely out of business. You remember Circuit City?
Mm-hmm.
Remember Nobody Beats the Biz? There was a store named H.H. Gregg that went out of business. A whole lot of Radio Shack, Blockbuster, a lot of just the times change. And that's what, I just, this morning I was reading, I'm part of a Facebook group of other like-minded sellers, and this person was saying exactly what I'm just telling you right now, Dave, that the times are not the same. You know, to thrive, not just be around, but to thrive, you have to adapt, you have to adjust. You know, the lifestyle that was around 5 or 10 years ago is not the same. The expectations, the things that you're doing, you're not doing the Earth is not exactly in the same position of the universe as it was even 5 days ago. So
thank God.
How can things be the same and approach it the same way as, just a year ago?
I mean, I'm glad things are changing. I'm glad it's not the same that it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. That way of doing business, you had your inside sales team, you had your outside sales team, you had your marketing lists, it was...
Stop doing that, Dave.
Stop doing that. Hey, if that's your model...
Let me, I'm going to try a button for you. Stop doing that, Dave.
Is that the one you wanted to do?
No, there was another one. Wait, hold on. There we go. Stop doing that, Dave.
That's too funny. Yeah, I feel like we're just picking up steam right now, man. I really think that the next 20 years for global tech are going to be the best 20 years ever.
I'm looking forward to that because we're definitely entering in an era where we can talk to customers live. We're talking to LinkedIn, so that's global. So they're folks watching us from around the world on all different continents. On this other screen over here, this camera, I've got TikTok live, and I know that there's people there watching us from Germany, Sprechen Deutsch. We'll have people watching us from Mexico. Mexico, arriba, Mexico. They won the last match in the soccer World Cup against Argentina. No, that was a huge win. Arriba, Mexico. We've got people from the Philippines. Who else have we got in there? We got people from Canada. Hey, neighbors to the north, I salute you. All the way from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. So we could talk to people from around. That was not even possible 5 or 6 years ago at this, it would, relatively low cost compared to, you could do it. But the cost was really astronomical. So all of those watching us around the world, I say hello to you and welcome from Washington, D.C. and my good buddy Dave from just outside of Boston in New Hampshire, just over the border there.
He always says that. I'm in the safe suburbs. Southern New Hampshire. Listen, New England is beautiful this time of year. You just have to bundle up because it's starting to get really cold. The snow will be hitting pretty soon. But listen, I have a lot of friends around the globe now, and I hear different weather events, and I'll take my snow. I'll deal with the snow. I would rather have frozen snow than water.
And then being flooded. Yes, there's a lot of people with weather events, and my heart goes out to all of those people that are dealing with climate change and its effects. There was a really good, just a plug into, I get nothing out of it, but Zac Efron has a series on Netflix, and it's this season was in Australia, and he did a lot of stuff on how the water is coming up and islands are kind of shrinking down. So if you're into that kind of thing, check him out. Zac Efron on Netflix.
Is that Drain the Oceans?
No, that's Down to Earth is the name of that series.
That one looks pretty interesting.
But Dave, before we get it cranking and get it popping today, there's some people I want to give big props. Big props today. All right. There's a few folks, being on Amazon is not easy. We've been on Amazon, coming on our 10th year on Amazon. And to stay and, again, thrive on this platform, it is the epitome of constant evolution. Amazon was into books. Now they're into everything, right? So they've evolved and they change and they tinker. Somebody told me a stat that they do something like 2,000 to 3,000 A/B experiments per day. So they're always tinkering and looking for things to fine tune. So in order to adjust and to this evolution, really, because it was an adjustment to us to be on Amazon this long and to have this kind of success, there's some people that I have drawn inspiration from and direct knowledge that I actually want to acknowledge, because if it wasn't for them, we would not be here today. I want to acknowledge Kevin King. He is probably one of the premier guys out there when it comes to Amazon and what's going on with the platform. Thank you, Ori, for that shout out. Big props to Kevin King. Another mentor of mine who is absolutely valuable to me even to this day is Chad Rubin. Big props to Chad Rubin. I see you, and you're getting his new hustle on. He sold his last e-commerce SaaS platform and is now doing another one called Prophecy. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. There's another really, really, really great guy. Again, none of these people are paying me. It's just pure shout outs. Joe Nielsen on LinkedIn. Check him out, Joe Nielsen. He has some tremendous insights onto if you really nerd out on analytics and what that means and trends, Joe Nielsen is the guy. There's two more people that I really want to shout out. I want to shout out to Stephen Pope. He is the My Amazon guy, self-build the My Amazon guy, and he is the Amazon guy. He knows everything in and out. Big props to Stephen Pope. And you know what, Dave? There's one other person. If I didn't mention this person's name, I probably get the red flag thrown at me. And that's CJ Rosenbaum of My Amazon Lawyers. Of My Amazon. I hope I didn't know. I know I chopped it up. Amazon, thank you, Ori. Amazon Sellers Lawyers. CJ is the man. Amazon is up, it's down, it's sideways, it does all its crazy things. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that happen on that platform. He is the premier attorney when it comes to everything Amazon, all the legal issues. He knows it like, more than the back of his hand. The back of his hand is an insult to him. So CJ, whoop whoop, want to shout it you out.
Those aren't. I don't think those applauds are coming through on this end, Rolando.
Oh, is there not?
They were. Yeah, I had heard them originally, and they didn't come through. You're talking about CJ. I just finished watching a clip from CJ. It was something that he had posted on TikTok, and I love these platforms. So CJ, yep, that's coming through. Right. So CJ, thanks for all the advice and the words of wisdom, and everyone else. I follow everyone on there except for Kevin. I haven't introduced myself to Kevin yet on LinkedIn, but all the other guys, I love what they put out there, and I love having access to their knowledge. Rolando, it's worth. Yeah. It's so worthwhile to take some time and listen to some experts in the industry.
That's right. I just also want to say on our TikTok channel that is live around the world, we have a Thanksgiving poll. Was your Thanksgiving day good and kind to you, or was it a bust? Let me know. There's a poll on TikTok right now. I'd love to see what you think about your Thanksgiving, if you celebrate. If not, just tell me I don't celebrate it. Hey, Dave, we did a non-traditional Thanksgiving in my house.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but the cooking and the slaving over the stove and the stress of getting the right turkey. Did it come out too dry? Was it wet? Blah, 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 blah. It's too stressful, man. I got to tell you, too stressful. So you know what we did? We did a non-traditional this year. We went with sushi. We went with key lime pie. We got a quiche. And all of this was, we ordered the sushi from Whole Foods. I have a friend that's a baker who has a company, and she brought us the pies. And then I made a potato salad. That's it. And that took me 20 minutes to make. So that was the extent of my Thanksgiving meal that we put together.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Sometimes I'm craving all of those foods. I've never had key lime pie as dessert from sushi. That sounds like a wild.
It was wild.
Wild.
You know what? Enough of the stress that comes with it. So got to focus on eating and watching football. That's it.
All I wanted to do was watch football. Right. I actually stressed out because I wasn't hosting, so I was going to someone else's house. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted that turkey to come out the way that I would have made it. I really wanted those potatoes to taste like I made them. So my stress came from not having control of the wheel. And I tell you, I learned a lot about myself. We got there.
You like that control?
I think I like that control too much. I was stressing out, and I shouldn't have been. And I was just writing it off. Like, Thanksgiving is not going to be great this year. It turned out to be good. A little bit small, but I'll tell you, all the food was hot. It was all the traditional sides. The turkey was moist. I couldn't say enough about it. I left with a little leftovers. And now we're here. And then we're carried, here. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was all family.
It goes by fast. It goes by fast, Dave. No doubt.
It went by fast.
It goes by fast. My football
teams didn't win, unfortunately. It didn't work out.
It was a rough weekend.
Yeah, very.
One of mine did. Minnesota won. They beat the Wisconsin Badgers. So anybody listening to me from Wisconsin, too bad. But the Gophers, the Minnesota Golden, I played ball in Minnesota. I lived in Minnesota for several years. So big props to the Golden Gophers. All right. Dave, let's get to what the people have been waiting for, what they've been wanting to hear from us regarding some of these products. So we've got 2 top picks and we got 2 dark horses. We're going to start with the 2 top picks. All right. Those 2 top picks, and they're top picks for several reasons, because these are the kind of products today that will help you thrive, help you excel in what you're doing. They will help you sound and look like a professional, Dave, because who doesn't want to look? If you are still one of those people, when you call a customer and you're, hey, Dave, what are you doing? Hey, blah, blah, blah. I got this big. Don't do that. Here we go. Stop doing that. right? Stop doing that.
It's
You're doing yourself
neglectful.
a disservice.
It's neglectful.
It is totally neglectful. I'm going to give you an uh-oh if you do that. Uh-oh. Let me go.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Don't do that anymore. Let's elevate the game, right? So, you know, Dave, there's a lot of people transitioning right now from one job to another, and some that are transitioning to their side hustle or their solopreneurs. And if you want to do something right away that's going to set you apart from the competition, instead of being that guy or that girl that's talking like this and shouting into your speakerphone when you're talking to somebody, or even like this, because the sound quality on this mic is not nearly as good as you think, we've got the product so that you can make a small investment that will take you a mile long in terms of the ROI that you're going to get from it. So we're going to start with a Bluetooth headset by Jabra. All right. And this is a headset that is one of our big sellers, and there's a reason for it. The Jabra Evolve 65 Bluetooth headset. It's one of the OGs, Dave, one of the OGs when it comes to Bluetooth headset. It's not a brand new one, but it's still ticking. It's battle tested. It's withstanding the test of time for a lot of reasons. Let's point something out. Jabra has also released a new version. Everything looks the same box, the same hardware, everything's the same, except inside they put a new chipset. And so that is the difference between the Jabra Evolve 65, and if you see Jabra Evolve 65E, Jabra Evolve 65 SE, Sam Edward, Evolve 65 SE. I think it stands for second edition. But if you see that on the sticker, it says SE, you have the latest one. And that's important specifically for those folks that want to use it with Teams, so that you can get that Teams integration. And we're going to talk about that in a moment and why that's so important. So let me show you what's here with the Evolve 65. In the box, you're going to get from us, you're going to get this 2-pack bonus windscreen. So why is that important? Because your microphone is where all the action is at. And when you're talking into a microphone and you get this USB charging cable included, the microphone is how people interact with you and how they understand you. And what microphones tend to do over time, that's the microphone here, the little cutouts that are in here that have where your mouth talks into, it's got little holes, and those holes can get clogged over time. That won't happen on day one, Dave. It won't happen on day two, but over time, especially those people looking to do the side hustles and solopreneurs or people that are working at home, that end of the microphone is going to get clogged up from your voice talking into it. So
yeah,
there's a very
dust and things like that. But hey, Rolando, those spare parts, that's exclusively for our customers, correct?
Absolutely. So if you're a Global Tech customer, if you're watching us on TikTok and you want to know why you want to do business with Global Tech, that's because we gave you great value. Not just great expertise, but great value. But in the box, that's not included. That would normally, I should say, that normally would not be included with the Evolve 65, the Jabra Evolve 65. Actually, the entire line of the Jabra products, they don't include that extra microphone protector. So that's what it is. It's been to protect your microphone. You know, we've been doing this for 20 years, Dave. And if we can help customers, again, sound and look their best, we're doing our mission. And one of those things is including a windscreen to protect that microphone. You're going to save yourself a world of problems down the line. You'll thank us. Just drop in a review and say, hey, you guys were great. You saved me. You saved my butt with that and the windscreen. All right. So in the box, you get this. And I have the stereo version. So there's a stereo version. There is a stereo version of the Jabra Evolve 65. There is a mono version. And there's also a version that includes the stand, so a charging stand. And if you are like me and you're talking all day long, you want to get the version that includes the charging stand. Otherwise, you charge it with this USB cable, right? That is your way to charge it. Now, one of the things that comes up with the with a lot of these Bluetooth headsets, you can't charge it when you're using. You can't use it and charge it. This one allows you to do that. So that is one of those things. I'm going to get into hero aspects of it, Dave. But Dave, let's talk about why this Jabra Evolve 65 Bluetooth headset, the OG of headsets, who is this really made for? Because that's the thing. Should I get this? That's the one thing people are asking. It's got great ratings on Amazon, but who would you say is an ideal user for this type of Bluetooth headset?
Listen, judging from sales back in January, February, and March, right at the beginning of the pandemic, 2020, our sales on these items were going through the roof. And that was because the folks that can really benefit from this headset is someone that's working from home, they're working on a laptop, and maybe they're also working on their cell phone. The headset's a multi-use headset, so it can go in between a PC and also to a cell phone itself. And having this connectivity in your house works really, really well. It's not for a truck driver or really driving around in the car. Those people that are working from home and maybe now they're hybrid working, where they're in their home office and now they go into the office 2 days a week. The people that bought these headsets back at the beginning of the pandemic, they're still using the same product. They keep it up to date with firmware, and they're able to bring it back and forth from a home office to the actual office and connect to a cell phone in their computer. So for folks that are communicating in the ways of new post-pandemic, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but these hybrid workers, they love the flexibility, the battery life, the talk time, the noise cancellation. I was talking to someone the other day. They said, I'm just so glad I have the Evolve, because in the past I was using the Speakerphone if I needed to do some multitasking work.
Right.
Uh-oh.
That's what that gets, that Speakerphone.
And then the paranoia. You're in a call, you're making a quick breakfast for your child that has a online school starting. Mm-hmm. And being able to quickly mute themselves, being able to just filter out some of that background noise. We really improved. A lot of people made the right decision by going with this, and
you
we
can't
still
go
hear
wrong.
it every day. They absolutely love it.
You're absolutely right, Dave. And I want to also include in the mix of those folks that are ideal users, there are receptionists, doctor's office, dentists, knowledge workers, nurse, telehealth practitioners. My brother, Dave, I gave him one of these. I gave him one of these, this exact same model. I gave him one of these as a gift about 5 years ago, and he still uses that to this day. He's a surgeon, so he uses it to talk to people because he wants to make sure that they hear every single word he's saying. Seconds count, especially if you're in the telemedicine, telehealth field. Depending on the nature, you may be doing something more critical. If it's an acute situation, or even still, you may be doing telehealth and you're talking to somebody at their home, and if they can't really hear you, or even worse yet, the doctor or the practitioner can't hear them well, that could be a problem. Mm-hmm. Right? So any of those people, any of those professions are really well, you'll do well by using this kind of product, the Jabra Evolve 65. Now, Dave, now that we've talked about who's the ideal user, have sold thousands, tens of thousands of these for years. And we can tell you for sure the hero aspects of this product, as well as some of the kryptonite. All right. So, Ori, let's put up our hero banner. Let me see. let me get in the right position here. Woo! What is the name of? We haven't come up with a name for our hero.
I don't think we had a meeting on selecting this individual as our hero.
There wasn't a memo for this guy here. Right there. Hey, guy, what's your name, Guy? Maybe we just call him Guy. Guy.
He looks like Guy Smiley's kid. All right.
Yeah,
so that's
was that South Park, right? Guy?
No.
Hey, Guy.
Smiley. Oh, well, that's perhaps
South
Guy
Park.
Smiley.
They call themselves Guy. Hey, Guy. He could be Canadian. Eh?
Hey, Guy. Hey, kid.
Guy.
I was going to say, hey, kid. That's more of a New England thing. Guy Smiley, he was the host he was a Muppet. So he was on Sesame Street. He was he was like a game show host or something. So if Guy Smiley had a son, this would be him. But this is a beta version of who our superhero will be.
Hey, Guy. So, Guy, listen. Here's the superpowers to this product, and these are the reasons it merits why we're talking about it today. The mic, like Dave was saying earlier, the microphone quality, and the audio quality on the microphone. So that's the microphone. The quality you're going to get. Let me bring that up to this camera. It's really good. It really stands up, even though it's the OG. It's still a very good microphone. It's a standout microphone. There are other Bluetooth headsets out on the market, plenty of them, hundreds, maybe thousands of different models. The microphone quality, when you talk to people, they will be impressed by what they hear. They will hear your voice naturally, and it will come to the front like if you were in the room with them. Right? So this is a headset. When it comes to that, if you are into audio and you want people to hear you clearly, this is one of the hero superpowers on this. Number 2, compatibility and certification. Dave, we were talking about this. If you are a Microsoft Teams user and you're looking for a good headset to use with Microsoft Teams, the Jabra Evolve 65 will do the job. This is the stereo version. There is also a mono version for both Teams as well as other what they call non-UC. So that's everything else. Now, Dave, we got to point out why there's this craziness over a Microsoft version versus a UC version. There is a whole lot of questions all the time, and not just on this product, but others. And so let me boil it down to you within 15 seconds. Microsoft wants the products that are connected to their platform, their Windows stuff, let's just call it PCs, mostly computers, to be plug and play so that the user does not have to fumble around with all sorts of stuff. And in order to do that with this product, you have to use that Bluetooth dongle. The Bluetooth dongle, once you plug it into your PC or laptop, will essentially populate the settings on a Microsoft computer and allow you to start using it without having to adjust anything on your computer. And that goes for Mac as well as Windows. So that's why that is. Otherwise, the UC version and the Microsoft version of a product like the Jabra Evolve 65 are identical. No differences. You could use them interchangeably on any platform. It's just that the Microsoft version, that dongle will plug and play and automatically give you all the settings so that you're ready to go and you don't have to fiddle around with it. So
listen, you bring up a really good point.
Yeah.
Someone's using Microsoft Teams today. They buy the Teams edition of the 65, of the Evolve 65.
Mhm.
Now, the headset's a commercial headset. It's going to last you many years. If your organization changes platforms and say moves to Zoom, for example,
Yeah.
the headset's not becoming obsolete. You don't have to replace anything. That
That's
same headset with the direction of software called Jabra Direct, you can easily reconfigure the headset so that it's now optimized for Teams. It's no more, or sorry, from Teams to Zoom. It's nothing more than a drop-down menu, and then you get that same functionality. And the functionality, I'll tell you, the most important piece that people ask me, they're like, well, why is this so important to have the integration? When you have an Evolve 65, you have the Microsoft edition and you're using Teams, it's plug and play. And what it does is things like remote answering. That's the most popular feature of wireless headsets that people are looking for. They want to answer and end a phone call by hitting a button on the headset, whether they're in front of their computer or maybe they are multitasking in their hybrid office or their office. Hearing an incoming tone, hitting a button on the headset, opening up, which automatically would open up the application and answer that phone call. That's the number one feature that people are looking for, and this headset has that for Microsoft Teams or any of the more popular UC applications. So we can show you how to unlock that or make sure that you're buying the correct SKU so that it will have the plug and play that you're looking for.
Well said, Dave. Absolutely. I can't add to that. That's well said. Makes your life easier for all those different platforms. So that's the certifications and compatibility, which Dave also helped summarize. Number 3, value. With what Dave just said about the certifications, the integration, the ability to use it across multiple platforms, the microphone, the audio quality. You're getting really good value for the price that you're paying on the Jabra Evolve 65. So again, that's mono, stereo, and all of the above. You're getting really good value, a lot of bang for the buck. There's other more expensive headsets. There's some that are cheaper. It falls right in the middle between the super premium and then the entry level basic type of headsets, and does a lot for that. So value, you're getting your money's worth. And then there's something really neat about this. This is the last thing is that magnetic boom. So the boom can move and rotate, so you can wear it on the left or the right, which also makes it a little different. Not all Bluetooth headsets allow you to do that. You can rotate the ear cups so it sits more comfortably on your head. But then as you're rotating the boom up, it can tuck away and it just clicks right into place on the headband so that it's nice and neat. It doesn't go everywhere and it just tucks away there. And I really love that feature. I think they were one of the first ones really to put that out there so that the boom just doesn't dangle out and get caught on something. Let me
Yep. You know, and there's different headset manufacturers do this differently. Some have telescoping boom microphones. We looked at some of those yesterday. There's some where when you fold it up, it folds into the band itself. Jabra has another version called the Evolve 2 series, where some of those, when you take the boom microphone, you can move it up and it just goes within the plastic molding of itself. So the manufacturers, they're all getting creative because they're looking for a way, I believe they're looking for a way to address the people that are also casual phone users, but use headsets for focus, use headsets for meetings, use headsets for streaming audio and things like that. And then casually, do they need a microphone? So they're coming up with ways to make it more stylish, more stylist. That's not a word. More stylistic, more attractive, stylish. Wow, that was a big word for me this morning.
Maybe you didn't have enough coffee, Dave.
I don't think I
get the mojo going.
I didn't. More stylish. Wow. Anyways, it's fun to see the different versions that these manufacturers are doing to try to hide and isolate that microphone when not in use. But I was always impressed with just this simple magnet, you know, and I think it's things like that help to keep it in that middle of the road offering between good, better, and best. This one sits right at better. You know, a ton of value for it, and the features are great as well.
No, well said, Dave. And now we must also point out it's kryptonite. You know, what are people saying? Because it's been out for quite some time. And now our villainous Barbosa guy right over there. I don't know. Oh, Barbosa, you're something else. You cause frustration to people and cause people to complain. So, but we got to point it out, Dave, because it's part of the product. And we would be doing you a disservice if we didn't tell you the truth about the products that we sell. All right. Other folks like to do reviews. Everything's happy, hunky, go dory, go buy it. End of the story. That's not us. Because we're unbiased here and we want you to know the good and the bad, we got to point out the not so good, right? That doesn't mean that this is a bad headset. It doesn't mean it's terrible. It's just an aspect that other people have found troublesome, or us in the course of using it for the last several years. So the Barbosa, the kryptonite on this product is the muting capability. Now, there is a mute capability. There's a button right on the bottom here. No, let me bring it in focus. Ooh, there we go. That bottom button right there is shared. There we go. That's a shared button. Well, let me move it over here in front of my face. There we go. That button is shared with the volume down. Now, in order to mute, you have to hold that button down for 2 seconds. Now, it's not intuitive, but it can mute. And it's worked fine for many people without a problem. But there are other products that have either a dedicated mute button or another way to make it easier with the boom going up and down, and that mutes you, or the retractable boom where the boom goes in and out to mute. This does not have that. So if you have an issue with that, or that's a problem, then that's maybe a consideration for you. I don't think it's a big problem, but some people don't find it as intuitive. So that's one of the things that they've addressed in the newer versions, the Evolve 2. But on this current line of product, because it is the OG, it's still the way to mute, Dave. You got to hold that button down for 2 seconds and then you're muted, right? So that's the kryptonite. That's the Barbosa around this particular product.
You know, from a marketing standpoint, it's genius because the product does have the ability to mute. You need to learn how to do it. So it might not be something that you can figure out quickly. You just need to do a little bit of research. Some people don't want to read
And
user
Dave,
manuals.
it's on the, if you give me a tabletop, Ori, it's on the box itself, but it's still, you know, if you're like me, sometimes you don't even read. You don't read anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right on the box.
But what
right
they've
over here are all the functions, and right over
that.
here you've got the indicator that tells you volume down, mute or unmute the microphone. It's right here. So you just hold. It's a shared button. All right. You know, Danish design is all about being sleek, Dave. They are very minimalistic in their design. So I don't know how the engineers decided why they just didn't add a button on it for mute, but you know, for the minimal type of design is in line with who they are. That's the only thing I would say in their defense for not adding a mute button.
Yeah, and from a customer's.
Okay, let Dave take that. Let Dave take that. I'm gonna monkey here with this TikTok camera for a second.
So I just wanted to point out from a features standpoint that, you know, Jabra has different headsets within the Evolve category. So from an Evolve 65, you can go up to an Evolve 75. So if the customer is looking for that mute functionality by just rotating the microphone up, it gives them a reason to step up into the next level. So if someone is asking, why would I pick this one over this one? What do I get more? You know, because a lot of folks want the premium offerings. What do I get if I go from the 65 to the 75? It's nice that Jabra has made it easy for them, you know, just to lay it out. Well, this is the additional features. Yes, you're paying extra for them, but it's a better headset if that's the functionality that you need. I haven't heard any funny stories recently about the embarrassment of not knowing to do a mute, you know, being able to quickly mute yourself. But yeah, I'll tell you, in the height of the pandemic, there was so many videos floating around. My son would show me daily where it was things that people were just mistakenly doing. You know, I left my camera on, I left my microphone on, and there can be a high level of embarrassment avoided if you know how to mute your headset and feel confident that it is muted. That's always been a pro tip. Avoid the embarrassment.
Get ready for a pro tip.
And Dave let us know that was a pro tip, that you can always mute yourself so you're not feeling embarrassed. You know, I just want to circle back here for a moment. Ori, you put up Steve Harvey up there. I know who Steve Harvey is. He is a very smart guy. Several years ago, I worked with him on several security projects, stuff we can't even talk about, but he's a great guy. Steve, thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning in today. I'm going to give you a nice clap and shout out as well. All right, Steve, and see that last bit tells you he does some real heavy duty stuff, the TSSCI, Dave. Anybody that's got that on their name, they're doing some really high level government projects that they'd have to like do some bad things to you if they told you what they do. You have to keep it quiet. That's what that means. I believe that stands for top secret, something compartmentalized, something like that. I can't remember the last part, but I know the first part is top
secret anymore.
Well, that part is not a secret. the designation there. It just
Understood.
tells you that this guy can basically go into a room that's built out of aluminum that no signals can get in, essentially a metal can, and talk about all this stuff, that privilege that comes with knowing classified information. So shout out to Steve Harvey. Thanks for tuning in.
Definitely sounds like a new Netflix original, Rolando.
Nothing has been done around. Well, there's been, you got the Snowden thing who blew the whistle on a bunch of stuff. He did it wrong, but anywho, what I was going to say, Ori, let's go to rapid fire. So one of the things that happens around here, Dave, is we like answering customer questions. I love it. It keeps me on my toes. It keeps me in touch with what the people want. So we've had questions come in on the Jabra Evolve 65, and you can see on my screen, I've got way more questions than I could probably answer in 3 minutes, but I'm going to get through as many as I can. All right. Let's see. There's the clock is ready for me. I'm ready. Let me take a sip of my tea and see if it's warm. All right. Ready to go. Uno, dos, tres. Question number 1. Does it have a mute button or a switch? This comes in from K. K wants to know. Yes, K, it has a mute button that is shared. That's it right down here below. There's a little ridge. You hold that mute button for 2 seconds. It will mute. You go back, press it again for 2 seconds. Again, it will unmute. So that is on the Jabra Evolve 65. Thanks for sending in that question. We've got next question by Donna. Donna wants to know, was the microphone effective at cutting out background noise? The answer is yes. It has noise canceling built in. I even gave one of these to my brother just for that purpose because he needed optimal sound quality, and it does cut out background noise. Thank you for sending that in, Donna. What is the difference between the UC? Oh, there we go. What is the difference between the UC optimized standard and the UC stereo? Ooh. Well, basically what this comes down to is, and I think they meant to say MS, Microsoft. So the Microsoft version just means that when you plug the dongle into the PC, your Jabra Evolve 65 will auto-populate the settings so that it's plug and play at the moment. You do that on a Microsoft Windows system. Say that 10 times fast. Microsoft optimized system. So that's the difference. The UC works across every platform, and so does the Microsoft. The only difference is the Microsoft version or the Microsoft edition of the Jabra Evolve 65 is plug and play on a Windows system. All right. Next question. Can you connect to a Bluetooth enabled PC without the dongle? I don't have a lot of USB ports. Well, there's 2 answers to that. Yes, you can do that without the dongle, but recognize that without the dongle, like I said earlier, you may not get some of those optimized settings. You're not going to get a dedicated audio path like you would with this. You do not get a dedicated audio path natively into Bluetooth, and you may experience Bluetooth issues when you use it with the Jabra Evolve 65. This gives you the ability to use all the audio as well as all of the customization that you would want out of your Bluetooth headset. So I highly recommend that. All right, how am I doing time? Ooh, I'm doing good. Let's see. Let's get to some other questions. Can the headset be used while charging? The answer is yes. Just plug in the USB cable into your computer and it will still keep on ticking. I've done that myself. Okay. I answered. There was another question. Difference between the UC and the MS. We did that one. Do you sound natural or digitized to the person on the other end of the phone? You sound crystal clear to the person, no matter if you're on a computer or you're on a mobile phone. If you're sounding digitized, I would take a look at interference that's causing the 000. I'm going to finish it anyways. If you're getting digitized sound, more than likely it's going to be one of 2 things. It's going to be that your network is having issues, and that's if you're at home or even at work. There may be some network congestion or some slowing of those packets arriving and being sent to you in the transmission. A little bit of a nerdy response. And then the other thing that could be causing this kind of digitization of sound could be that you may have too many Bluetooth devices around your environment that will cause some interference and some problems. So first, I would go with the network side to see if you're having some network issues. Maybe try it somewhere else. Maybe you're some other location. See if that fixes. If that doesn't, and you still have the same pattern of digitized sound, it could be. And it's happened to me this year. I realized it with all of the Bluetooth stuff I have on my desk. I was getting some of that, and it was a result of way too many Bluetooth devices on my desk. I got a Bluetooth keyboard. I got a Bluetooth mouse. I got a Bluetooth computer. I have Bluetooth on my mobile phone. I have Bluetooth on my desk phone.
Bluetooth headsets.
I had a Bluetooth headset. So all of these things in close proximity here in my desk area and in my little home studio, all of those things being on was causing a problem. So I had to go down one by one and figure out how many of these actually have on without causing interference. All right. And that question came. Did we have a name on that? That one came from Priscilla. Priscilla, thanks for sending in that question on the Evolve 65. Dave,
listen, as a pro tip for any user of a Bluetooth
Get ready
headset.
for a pro tip. Get ready for a pro tip.
Right,
pro tip numero dos. Dave.
So I got a pro tip. If you're using a Bluetooth headset with a dongle, and if you're having any interference issues, if you're not getting the wireless range that you're looking for, we have a premium product called the Global Tech. This is the Blue Beacon Range Extender. This is a way where you can take that small USB dongle that, you know what, you might have to stick it on the side of your computer or in the back of your PC, which might be under your desk, that may be causing some interference or bad audio quality. The Blue Beacon Range Extender gives you the ability to take the dongle and put it in an ideal place. It's about 3 feet long. It's an extension cable, USB to USB-C or USB-A, depending on what you need. And then that will give you the ability to take the dongle, get it at a higher elevation, or put it in a better location so that you can get optimal range and optimal sound quality. And that's exclusively sold by us. Bluetooth Range Extender. Check it out.
Well said, Dave. Love it. Plug into the Blue Beacon. You know why? Because you will be a hero. Want to be a hero, not a zero. I've got mine right over there, Dave. It's off camera, off to the side. I could go clear beyond that wall and go out this door over here where the curtains are in the backyard, and I can go pretty far. I mean, I'm amazed at what line of sight can do for a computer. And you know, my computer way off on the side down there, and it just helps that tremendously. So let's roll on into top pick numero dos of the day. Ori, give us that graphic for the top pick. Do we have the top pick and then a little dun, 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 dun. Woohoo! Top pick numero dos. It is another Jabra product. It's a different one. This is a Jabra product for those, you know, Dave, people say, I don't want to be caught dead with a headset on my head. Or, you know what? My hair is just too good for a headset. I can't put anything on my locks, man. I don't want to be caught messing it up. I spent too much money. Or, you know what? My ears are just way too. I don't want anything messing around with some people may have hearing aids, and so that, you know, there's an issue there sometimes putting things on their head. So we've got an alternative for those folks that say that, right? And still sound like a professional and enhancing the sound compared to your speakerphone, or worse yet, Dave, the laptop microphone and speakers.
Ooh.
Yeah. I have a boo in here somewhere.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Oh, no. There we go. Oh, no. Oh, no. You don't want to do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your clients. So I've got a Jabra 510, which is their entry-level model, and they've got 3 different models. We're gonna highlight one today, and that's the 510. This is their entry-level model. It is available with and without a dongle. So the one that is available without the dongle, that's the one I have here. That's the Jabra 510. And if you want the dongle, because if you've listened to any of our podcasts, including this one today, you know the dongle is important for audio. if you're going to use it with the Bluetooth capability. And so that'd be the Jabra Speak 510 Plus. Okay. And you get the dongle with the Plus version. That's the only difference there. So in the box, you get a very straightforward, you get a microcloth. So if you want to keep your item dust free, we include that. Again, Dave, we do a service for our folks, whether they're watching us around the world on TikTok, where we have a poll. Let me know if your Thanksgiving went well or if it was a bust. You get a microfiber cloth, and we would really appreciate, we have it in here. Go ahead and send us your favorite picture with the Speak or any of the products, and we will feature it on our social media channels, Instagram, we have Facebook, all of them. So if you send that to us and tag us on one of the social media channels, we will feature it and show you off to the world. So in the box, you've got this nice neoprene bag that comes with it, and it's very straightforward. It's a very straightforward. You got a hockey puck style or a puck style round type of format. It's got this type of cushioning on the bottom, so it can sit on the table. It can sit on your desk without sliding very much. So if I put it down here on my table, you see it actually, my table moves around, shakes a little bit and I'm actually moving it pretty good. All right, move it side to side. No, it sticks very well to this surface. So that's one of those things that I really like about this product. Now, before we get too heavy into the Speak 510, I think, Dave, we should also say, who is this really made for? Who's the ideal customer? Who's the ideal user for this product? Because you want to know if this is right for you.
So, Rolando, you pointed it out at the beginning. Headsets give you the ability to sound great and be hands-free in your work environment, right? Be more productive, sound great, again, noise cancellation, all these things, all the benefits of good audio and all the benefits of being hands-free. But for folks that are not looking to put a headset on, hey, we understand. Speakerphones, these have sold probably side to side with headsets. For every headset we're selling a speakerphone. Yeah. And that's because not everybody spends 8 hours a day on the phone. Some people only do a couple of meetings a day. Right. And they don't need the ability to put they don't want to wear something on their head, but they want some additional everybody's looking to save some time and energy. Listen, if you can do two things at once, do two things at once. A speakerphone will allow you the ability to be part of that morning meeting. You're a road warrior, right? You got a trade show. You're trying to hit breakfast at 8:30 in the morning. You're in your hotel room and you're getting ready. But you also have a call. You have that staff meeting. Right. I tell you, being that able
bag
to
that comes with it, so you could take it to go with you.
Yeah. So you're in your hotel room. You're pressing your shirt. You're shaving. You're multitasking, and you're participating so that you can still get down to that 8:30 breakfast. I found that road warriors absolutely love the 510 and the 710. Tons of battery life. Rolando showed us the bag. That thing slips real easy into a laptop bag.
Absolutely, it does. And I've taken speakerphones with me on the road because exactly what you said, Dave. Especially in the morning or even later meetings, in the hotel room, you're kind of it's not your home environment, right? And you want to be able to move, but you want to be able to hear as you're maybe packing or you're or you're doing your shaving or whatever, you're getting ready for the meetings. And I find it super handy when you are on the road and you take it to the client site with you, because there are times where you maybe want to share a file, right? Whether it's on your smartphone or your PC, and it has audio on it. And hearing audio on this compared to this are like night and day.
For sure. Yeah,
and
good
you
point.
you just elevate that whole presentation when you lay this on the desk or on the conference room, and people can actually hear the sound on your smartphone. If it's a file you're sharing that's got audio on it, or video and it's got audio with the video, or your laptop, and you're boom. Now everybody doesn't have to do one of these. They're crowding around to hear your laptop audio or the speakerphone audio on the smartphone.
Right. Now, for the road warrior, this thing makes a lot of sense. But there's also a lot of folks that are back to the office. They have hybrid work environments, and they're looking for like a smaller huddle room solution.
Right.
They may not have the budget to put a big audio conference or a big video conference room in there. They just need a little space, maybe 2 to 5 people at one time, kind of huddling around the desk. And a solution like the 510, it's inexpensive. There's a ton of value in it. But again, you can go into a room, you can use that so you can conference. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of folks that may go into a huddle space with just a desk telephone and try to use the speakerphone on a desk telephone.
Oh, I got one right here. I knew you were going to say that, Dave. Don't be that person. These are nice phones. Don't matter if it's a Polycom or a Yealink. They're great. But this is a lot better. This is going to just elevate the game. And that's what you want to do. And I'm saying that because you want the sound and look your best. No, don't do that to your clients. And just plunking this down in a conference room, putting 4 people around it, they will not take too well to that. It just doesn't go well. It just screaming into the microphone on a desk phone is no good.
And then you're wasting time because you're asking people to repeat themselves.
Absolutely.
All of those things. So for organizations that need a huddle room solution, these speakers like the 510 and also the 710, these are designed for that type of a setup.
Indeed. And I like how you're teeing things up because it's time to talk about the hero features. Ori, give me the hero features. Bring out Guy. Hey, Guy. Hey, Guy. We're gonna adopt the Guy from Canada, right? They don't celebrate Thanksgiving. What do they celebrate? What do they do up there, Dave? Do you know? They do something.
I think they have their own Thanksgiving.
They may have. And if you're watching now, which I see a bunch of people watching us on TikTok as well from around the globe, Dave, hello to you from watching all over the world. I see Mexico, I see Canada, all over the US. Again, people up in Europe watching us, Germany, the UK are watching us live. I have a poll, whether you participated in Thanksgiving or not. I want to know, was your Thanksgiving good to you or a bust? Let me know. I'd love to see your comments on TikTok. So thanks for watching us today. All right, Dave, back to Guy. We'll go Guy from Canada. Hey, Guy. So our hero, our superpowers on this Jabra Speak, on this, wait a minute, let me put them right in there. On this Speak 510, is that, you know what, Dave? I haven't said this for any of the products that we rolled out today or even yesterday. It is highly rated. So this product on Amazon is rated a 4.6 out of 5. Do you know how difficult that is? That is extremely hard to get a product very close to 5. 5 is perfection, but 4.6 out of 5 it says a lot about the product. That alone would be an amazing superpower for any product. But this is something that over the years, it just keeps proving its worth. Customers keep rating it highly. So if you had any doubts, just the reviews alone will tell you this is a good product. Number 2, it is easy to use. You can simply use the included USB connector, and it's a USB-A, by the way. They only make the Speak 510 and 710 with the USB-A USB model. So it's easy, plug and play with the USB adapter or using it in Bluetooth mode, in which case, again, I highly recommend using the dongle when you're using your PC with it. It'll save you a lot of frustration. Number 3, it is so far superior to any laptop speaker or speakerphone on a mobile phone. I haven't found any laptop that comes close in matching the performance that you're going to get from the Speak 510. It is an instant upgrade to somebody that's been using the laptop forever. So you will find that this gives you an unbelievable sound compared to what you were getting before. Another thing, especially for those folks that are enterprise customers or business customers that need to have something that integrates and makes your life easier. The Speak 510 is certified Skype for Business, GoToMeeting, WebEx, and more. So it's going to work in an integrated fashion with those call controls. So volume up, down, mute, and answer. It's going to integrate with that so that you just press the volume up here. It turns the volume up on the platform for you on your GoToMeeting. You turn the volume down, it'll turn down. You mute, it'll mute on your GoToMeeting. So you don't have to be embarrassed. I'm going to have to do this.
Uh-oh.
No uh-oh moments. You don't want uh-oh moments because you forgot to mute. Or worse yet, people yelling at you because you are muted and you can't do it very easily, fishing around for maybe the mouse and where to click it. You just do that right here, right on the speak set, right on the buttons that are on here. So certifications, that's important for those business users that need that. Check. Lastly, it's got another superhero quality, Dave, where I've got so many. You have a Bluetooth headset, no matter which one it is. You'd be able to. They're not going to like it that I do this, but that's the one that I can reach for. You've got your Bluetooth headset, and you've got your Speak 510. You can transfer the call from your Speak 510 over to your Bluetooth headset. That's pretty freaking cool, because you may be on a call that things may go into a direction where you need a little more privacy, Dave. And so if that's the case, you can transfer the call from the Speak 510 speakerphone over to your Bluetooth. How cool is that?
Yeah, that is super nice. And I like when you do the transfer, the transfer happened. The 510, there's no actual buttons on there. Those are all like soft keys, and it lights up to communicate different things that are happening to it. So the design on this is great, but certainly being able to get someone off speakerphone real fast and get it personalized in your ear, definitely a smart feature for security measures.
Of course, and privacy. And if you're like Steve and you were talking about TSSCI type stuff, you definitely want to move the call over to your Bluetooth. Although, we're going to get this in a little bit, there are agencies as well as some organizations that do not sanction the usage of Bluetooth devices. Believe it or not, they're not sanctioned in a couple of different organizations for all sorts of reasons. But for those folks, we got something coming up for you. If you can't use Bluetooth and want a product that still works but without the Bluetooth and is certified with all these business platforms. So those are the now the kryptonite. Where's our Barbosa? Barbosa. Ooh, boo. Oh no. You rear your ugly head again, Barbosa. Okay. So the 510 is not certified for Zoom. What does that mean? Let me break it down real easy. You still use the 510 for Zoom. It's still going to sound great. What happens is that the 510, when you plug it in and you're on Zoom, you won't be able to turn the mute on and off from here. That's what the Zoom certification tends to give you. When you have that integration built in, you'll still need to go over to your keyboard or your mouse and turn it off in order to do the mute and all that other kind of stuff. So, and Zoom is a popular platform, Dave, but this OG that's been out, maybe 10 years now. Yeah, I guess it wasn't designed, or the chipset doesn't allow it to be upgraded to that Zoom certification, because the 710, which is the next step up, that one is certified for Zoom rooms. So the Jabra Speak 710, if you need a speakerphone that is Zoom room certified, the Jabra Speak 710 is going to be Zoom rooms certified. Now, the last thing, let me give it a no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. When it comes to kryptonite, it's not full duplex. Dave, do you want me to handle that, or you want to explain what that means?
So So why don't you explain it? I'm actually learning a little bit right now. I
Okay.
guess I didn't
All right,
realize
that's
that the
okay.
510 wasn't full duplex.
It is not. The 510 is not, Dave. Me too. For the longest, I thought it was. It's the 750, the latest one they just released last year. That version, the Speak 750, is full duplex. So let me explain what that means. Full duplex allows you, as a person using this speakerphone, to talk and receive. So you're talking and sending at the same time without having to essentially talk over each other. Half duplex, which is the other term, half duplex means audio is going out and then received. For most people, individual users, that's not going to be a big deal breaker. But for some that want that just a little bit extra, like, I want the full thing, 750 does the job. So that's one of those things that you would, and it's an entry-level model, so it's a lower price, so that's par for the course. But there are newer products out there that are full duplex, as well as the Speak 750. Now the 710 does a really good job, but it doesn't have the full duplex, only the 750. So that is why I give that a double thing. Let me see. Yeah, can I get that down again? So if that's a deal breaker, that's what you'll need to know. Again, Dave, we only tell the facts around here. We're not making things up, and we want you to have the right information so you can make an informed decision. That is not a deal breaker for a lot of people, but as a nerd of this product, somebody using this stuff for 20 years, like yourself, Dave, we get down into the weeds, so you don't have to do that. We do that work for you.
And
Right,
you know,
Dave?
when I look at that user rating of 4.6 out of 5, you can tell right there the full duplex audio is not a deal breaker for so many people. Very highly rated.
It is. And by the way, when we do these kryptonite things, I'm going in really deep to look for stuff. Some of them not so obvious stuff. And like you said, for most users, it's 4.6. So 95% of users are giving it almost a 5, right? So for almost every person that's going to order this, it's going to do the job. So, but something you should know. No full duplex. All right.
Very cool.
Very, very, very cool. Now comes the interesting part of the show, Dave, where we talk about the dark horses. Do we have a sound effect for that? Woo! Yeah, giddy up, horsey.
That wasn't approved either.
No. We didn't do that one in the prep meeting for this one, but I asked Lori to find an effect that sounds okay and appropriate for this. Yeah, we didn't do a consensus. Okay, but that works. The dark horses. We have two. We have two dark horses. These are products that are flying under the radar that you should know about. And we've got two different products. One is by Poly. Actually, both of them are by Poly, and it's always worth pointing out, Dave, Poly is now part of the HP family. They were formerly Plantronics, and Polycom came together, renamed themselves Poly, and then just recently were acquired into the HP family. So I'm sure at some point, all the Plantronics and Poly products are going to say Poly by HP or Poly, a family of HP or something to that effect. And at some point, everything's going to be HP.
I think they've successfully transitioned email addresses.
Yep, that we know.
Uniform.
Email addresses are all HP now, and so it's only a matter of time before they get all their supply chain stuff saying HP. So the PolySync 10 is a speakerphone. So we talked about the Jabra Speak 510. There's some, Dave, you know, last year we had a lot of fun with this one. This is the Sync 10, which is just released just a few weeks ago. We did the Sync 20, and the Sync 20 and the Sync 10 are identical when you look under the hood. The big difference here between and I don't have it here. Actually, it's upstairs. I actually use the Sync 20. It's upstairs. The Sync 20 has Bluetooth capability, and the Sync 20 has the rocket button, which allows you to customize that. Let me say that again as a pro tip. Ori, give me pro tip número 3.
Here comes a pro tip.
You want to know what the difference is between the PolySync 10 and the PolySync 20 speakerphone? The Sync 20 comes with a rocket button, so you can customize several functions through the app. The other difference is that on the Sync 20, you have Bluetooth. On the Sync 10, it is designed without Bluetooth and does not have that customizable button. So if neither of that is a deal breaker and you just want a simple USB, no battery powered device, the Sync 10 is for you. Dave, I just read yesterday in New Zealand, they're confiscating AirPods and anything else that has a lithium battery when you get on a plane in New Zealand.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if this is going to start a trend, but there's a lot of angst in the aviation community around batteries, lithium battery products. So if the product has a lithium battery inside, they confiscate it before you can put it on as a you have to check it in, but you cannot bring it on the plane as a carry-on. So if you travel for a living and you're going out to New Zealand, there you go. There's a pro tip for you. It may be coming to the US soon because, we deal with products that have lithium batteries in it, like that Evolve 65 we're talking about. And there's special care that's involved with the handling of anything now that has in the US when it comes to any UPS, FedEx, all DHL, all of them, Postal Service have all this special handling requirements for what's labeled hazmat products.
Mm-hmm.
And anything with a lithium battery inside or sold separately is labeled hazmat. The aviation community hasn't banned or disallowed things like iPads and all the rest to be allowed on flights, but it could be coming here to the US because one country's doing it. Eventually more will realize, oh yeah, we can do that. We can get, and so just FYI, you won't have to worry about that with the Sync 10. All right. So the Sync 10, if you're looking for a product, now let me tell you who this is made for. Yeah, let me get this. Yeah, this is also in the Poly family. We can keep that there. This Sync 10 is for those individuals and organizations that are under either Bluetooth restrictions and you can't use it. Bluetooth is not allowed at all. And again, maybe you travel and you want to take a speakerphone from you. Don't worry about any hazmat regulations. That's also for you. But if you're budget conscious, and you want to try to deploy many of these across an organization and is also certified for integration with apps or other business tools, the Sync 10 is the way to go. Its budget-friendly price allows it to be deployed. The fact that you can also manage a lot of these, if you have 10 or you have 10,000, you can manage them. That also allows you to basically unify the experience across the board. So let me show you what's included. Dave, let me tell you, Poly's doing something right here. The first thing you see in the box is the USB-C to USB-A converter. This makes it so much easier as a user because you may be somewhere, maybe you're hybrid, maybe you're in the office, they're using USB-C, and at home you're using USB-A. So that's what that looks like. It's USB-A on one end, USB-C on the other.
I cannot get enough of these adapters. Every time I find one that's in a box, I'm like, that is fantastic. I'll put that over in this part of my office. It's nice to have a couple of those laying around.
Absolutely. And USB-C is the law of the land in the EU. And I believe next year or the following year will be the standard. Even Apple has to abide. They tried to fight it for years and they lost that in court. And so they're giving in to the USB-C standard. Say goodbye to the Lightning port. It's a dodo bird as of right now. Okay, so the Sync comes in this nice little bubble wrap. All right. And it's got a nice little layout. It says Poly on it. Eventually that may go away because it's part of the HP family. Your volume down, your mute, your plus, and then your answer and terminate. This is the one of those things that I love about this product. You can answer right here for your calls. You can terminate for your calls when you have the integrated products, the certified products, the biz apps. You're listening to your podcast or you're listening to something else. This will just elevate that game for you. It's going to give you a very rich experience. You know, Dave, when we did our test on the Sync 20, so under the hood, everything's the same like the Sync 20. So if I were to rip this back, you'd see all the stuff inside here looks like the Sync 20, and we poured water all over it, and it still worked.
Which is funny because Sync 10, Sync 20, that's SYNC, but I think you poured the kitchen sink on top of it.
Oh, love it.
It lasted for it was a lot of water that you put on there.
Yeah. So you could do a lot with it. It's very versatile from that aspect. You know what I wanted to do?
The size. You know what I love is it's different. There's a lot of hockey pucks out there. And they said, you know, when Poly's had hockey pucks and Poly has had square type speakerphones, but this is kind of cool. It feels like a telephone.
Oh, you have the 20
in your hand,
or you have the 10.
Nope. This is a 10.
Oh, you have the 10.
Also a 10.
Okay.
And this is just a comparison. This is the new iPhone. What are we up to now? 14,
13, 14,
14. So this is the 14, not the Pro Max, but this is the smaller version of the 14. It's a little bit smaller than this. You know, if you have the Pro Max iPhone 14, it's probably the exact same size, but you can tell it's just a little bit bigger than the newest iPhone. Easy to throw in a bag, nice microphone array in the middle. You can still throw it down, plug it into a PC or a laptop, have your conversation. And I hope your PC is also waterproof if you're using it outside. But yeah, we definitely dumped a lot of water on this thing and it works great.
You know what? I'm gonna do an audible here, Dave. I'm gonna try to see if we can go live with a little audio sample. Let me see if you hear. Oh, I'm gonna try a few things here. Sound effects. Let me go in here. Oh, how about some music? Let's go. That's some royalty-free music. Let's do that. Can you hear that? That's on the table. Let me bring it up to the mic.
You know what? I would actually put it back on the table so it can really show how the audio goes up.
No.
Like, that sounds good. Royalty-free dance moves from Rolando.
Let me see. I got another one on here. Let me see that. Let's see if there's a better one. Yeah. This is that lo-fi. That's real. That lo-fi kind of trap music.
I'll tell you, night and day between that and speakers from a laptop. That's for sure.
Oh. No doubt, Dave. No doubt.
And Rolando, this is an entry-level speakerphone.
That's the amazing part, Dave, about this one. So you're teeing it up. That's exactly where I'm going next, to the superpowers. Let's bring back Guy. Let's welcome Guy. Hey, Guy. There he is. Our superhero. So on this Poly Sync 10 speakerphone, the number one thing here is the superior audio. You know, we did a lineup last year of the top 8 or 10 speakerphones. The Sync 20, that's the big brother in the family, came out on top. The difference here between the two from a model perspective is that the Sync 10 has all of the inside that the Sync 20 is just at a lower price, and it doesn't have Bluetooth. So that's the big things it doesn't have, but you still get that superior audio that made the Sync 20 the #1 rated speakerphone last year for us when we did our full extensive review. And if you want to see that, you can catch that on our YouTube channel, and you'll see the full comparison. We did I think it was like a Final Four type of thing that we did with it. Did like a semifinal competition head-to-head battle. So you can check that out on YouTube. Yeah, March Madness. A March Madness. You can check that out on our What the Tech channel. That's What the Tech. And you'll see that full lineup of head-to-head. So superior audio. We just gave you a sample of that. And that's going to bring to life that conversation that you're listening to. It's going to make you sound better, especially if you're taking this with you on the road, because it's small enough you can put it in your go bag, and it's got that water resistance, so you can take it outside, Dave. You can go on that picnic. You could go up. You could be. We had a construction customer who was using the Sync 20, essentially the same product, but at a little bit higher cost. And there's a construction site, right? They build dams and roads and bridges and the rest, and they were telling us how easy it was for their folks inside that are totally non-techies to use it.
Mm-hmm. And they were, if it's the same folks that you're thinking of, then I am, also field engineers doing massive construction projects, and they would have meetings with other engineers at other locations, right, outside on the back of their tailgate on their work truck.
Yeah,
and
right.
There was an instance where it had rained. They were doing the meeting with the speaker and the cell phone paired to it. So they were able to keep their cell phone in their pocket away from the rain, and then conduct their meeting. And, aside from just being somewhat of a dirty, aggressive environment, the water just added something else to it. They were brand new when they purchased them. They were a little bit concerned, and then they reported back to they really are water resistant. That worked like a charm. And I think it was because of your test that they were confident that it wasn't just kind of
Ori, if you
words
could
in a
dig that up
manual.
while we're talking about Hero and Kryptonite, while we're, bring back that water test to give our folks, a sample of that'd be great. If not, that's not a problem. But if you know where it's at, go for it. So superhero feature, that audio. We talked about the fact that it includes the USB-C adapter. Absolutely genius on Poly's part. Not all manufacturers are doing that, so saves you some stress, especially if you're going to deploy lots of these or several of these throughout your organization. Water resistance, which Dave and I just going on and on about. Button layout. I'm not an engineer, Dave, but you and I play with a lot of these toys, and when it comes to layout, there's something about having the buttons just left to right. Oh, there we go. That's it right there. That's our water pour test. Look at that. Oh, and that looks actually winter because it looks really dark. That was sometime in the winter. And it kept working. That's the beauty of that. Look at you, Dave. Yeah, that is the winter, man. Where did your tan go?
Yeah, the tan's not here now.
Around.
Yeah, this is unfortunate.
Oh no, the tan left.
All right, I can't see it anymore.
So yes, water resistance. So if that's important to you, your construction company, you're outside, a road warrior, your work entails being outdoors, maybe you want to take it with you on the road and you're camping or whatever. This is the kind of product that can get wet, do the play stuff you want, and you got to jump on a business meeting. It could play nice with all of those apps. Very easy to use. This is, you can see, I plugged it in on my laptop here, and then just played the audio within a few seconds. So easy, very easy to use, plug and play. And we touched on this, Dave, the management features. So, Guy, you've made this one easy for the managers. This one's for my IT brethren who understand this error 404 and don't want to see that. Whether it's a real computer 401 or conceptually. You're not going to get error 404 when it comes to this thing, because you could use the PolyLens app that allows you to customize it. And there's a PolyLens app that allows enterprise users, whether you have 10 or 10,000, to basically manage those endpoints so that you can get control over the user experience, so that everybody that under the organization has the right firmware, has the right integration, has all the right stuff. So whether it's the Sync 10, 20, 30, Sync 10, Sync 20, Sync 40, or the Sync 60. Say that 10 times.
Sync
I can't
60.
say that again. Oh, no! I get a no for today for not being able to say Sync 60.
Sync 60.
All of those endpoints under the Poly family can be managed with the PolyLens app for enterprise. All right. So those are all the hero features. Dave, did I miss something that we should have added in these hero features?
I don't think so, Rolando. Those all seem to be right on point.
All right. Awesome. Let's bring out our Barbosa. Oh, no. Do we have? Let's see. Oh, no, Barbosa. You rear your ugly head again. This is the part where I don't always love, but we got to point it out, Dave. What's the thing that is missing or wish should have been on here or people have complained about? This is brand new. So in terms of ratings and reviews, it's on the low end. It was just released. But I could tell you from having used it myself, having played around with it, and having studied a bunch of different speakerphones and tested them, like that water one with that where we doused, the Bluetooth, for me, because I am a gadget guy, I also use Bluetooth all the time. That's the one thing I wish it was here, but I know why they didn't put it in there, Dave, because Poly didn't have this product in their portfolio, and it allows them to get a lower price point on the product. So no Bluetooth, no customization button on here, like the rocket button, like you have on the Sync 20. Now they can offer a lower price product, but the inside of it is essentially the same as the Sync 20, the slightly bigger brother. So if Bluetooth is a deal breaker for you, this product would not be one I would recommend. But if you are, because there are institutions, there are enterprises, there are individuals who don't want to mess around with Bluetooth, this is the way to go. It's a really good entry point. It's priced at they priced it at about $100 for the Sync 10. So it's right in the range of many individuals as well as enterprises that want something that's not going to break the bank. And that's why the Poly Sync 10 would be the product for you.
You know, I like when brands put out different variations of products like this, because not everybody, like you said, not everybody wants Bluetooth. But if I'm a Poly loyalist and I want a speakerphone, but I don't want Bluetooth, I'll buy the Sync 20. I'll use it in a corded fashion, but I've paid the extra money to have a feature Bluetooth that I won't be using. I love when brands give the people the opportunity to spend less of their money for features, or for features that they're not going to be using. It's such a good idea. I bought a new car recently. I wanted some features. I didn't want the big giant wheels. I didn't want the turbo. I wanted the leather. I wanted the sunroof, but I didn't want all of this extra stuff that comes with one of these high-end SUVs.
Right.
And I was able to get it the way that I wanted. And I feel when I'm making my payment that, hey, listen, I'm not paying for things that I don't need.
You didn't get the big mud bogging wheels, Dave.
No mud bogging wheels. You know, it's just enough features that make me happy. But for all car buyers out there, if you can avoid getting 19-inch wheels on your car, you should consider that. Yes, they look great, but man, are they expensive when they explode on you.
They can break the budget. Oh no. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
So for people that want a great speakerphone and don't mind using it in a corded fashion, the Sync 10 by Poly is certainly the product for you. And Rolando, you know what? We talk a lot about Bluetooth and wireless headsets,
Mm-hmm.
but there's still a lot of folks that they want inexpensive, comfortable, great sounding solutions that aren't going to break the bank. And that's
indeed
exactly where the Sync 10 falls in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shane Howard, our friend who said this, and I don't know if he realized that we love using this around here. It's an internal joke. He's in Portugal. I don't know if you're watching today or you're watching us on the playback. So Shane, this one's for you. Absolutely. Love it. All right, Dave. Now let's roll on into the last product of the show. This one is for all of those folks going back to the office and saying, Dave, they're not letting me use Bluetooth and I've still got to use a desk phone, right? I got to go back in. And in some cases, some people actually have some of these phones at their home, like I do. And that's if you're using like Ring Central or one of these voice over IP, Microsoft Teams with voice and any of these Vonage, you're using any of those platforms. Yes, another dark horse. Give us the dark horse music, Ori. Yeah. All right.
Not approved.
You know what I say to that? Hooray to these dark horses, because there's something about them, Dave, that we have to highlight. Because look, more people are going back into the office, although there's also at the same time a lot more people working from home. And you got a lot of people in the middle doing the hybrid thing. So for those folks that have to go back into the office and you're looking to upgrade, you know, maybe you were using your Bluetooth like this, and they say at work, like something like this.
Oh, no!
Sorry, Charlie, you can't use that with our phones because it doesn't have Bluetooth, or they don't allow it. Or maybe you're in a space, if you ended up using it, it would cause interference because everybody would need it and everybody want to use their Bluetooth, and that's not allowed, right? You don't want interference when you're talking with your clients. All right, so Poly, known as Plantronics, let me get my other Poly product out of the way. They have you covered with the EncorePro series of products, the 710, and I also have the 720. Let me move my Bluetooth out of there. Now, Dave, you know what's different about what we do? You know, we're different in many ways. We give the client, just like we did with the Speak 510, we give them a microfiber cloth. With the Evolve 65, we give them the bonus 2-pack windscreen. We do something, you know, Dave, I would venture to say we started the trend 20 years ago. Every single manufacturer, Plantronics, Jabra, Sennheiser, now Yealink as well, they all sold, and I believe most of them still continue to just selling the headset by itself. Now, by itself, the headset is no good. And the reason is, if you've got one of these, you're using one of these desk phones, if you're watching me on TikTok or you're watching me here, if you're using one of these, the headset will not plug into your phone by itself. You need a telephone cable. And what's even more frustrating, Dave, is that a telephone like this and like any other phone, and you're using a Plantronics product, you have to have the right cable. And guess what, Dave? There's over 20 cables.
I know.
That's so crazy. So imagine the frustration if you are a telephone person, you are an IT administrator, you are someone that is in charge of the headsets in the office. You got to figure out which one of these 20 cables is the right one, because they're not included in the box when you normally buy it online anywhere. We go one step further. We include it in the box. And the cable we give you in either model, as well as the other versions of Plantronics headsets that we sell on Amazon, they come with an intelligent cable. Why? Why an intelligent cable? Why do you call it intelligent? Because this cable that we include will work across virtually any phone. It will work on the Mitel phone. It will work on this Polyphone that's on my desk. It will work on a Yealink phone. It will work on NEC phone. It will work on some of the Avaya phones. Am I missing some? And it will work if you have a Nortel system. It will work on a Nortel phone.
Cisco is still so popular. It's going to work on a Cisco phone.
It's going to work on a Cisco, right? So that's the big difference. So in the box, you get this nice, you get this blue bag. I want to point this out. Give a shout out to Sarah, who did a fabulous job. We have been transitioning out of plastic into compostable bags to save on all kinds of waste, right? We're trying to do our part of being green. And so if you still got this, just know that this blue bag is the way we're transitioning to. So you may already have it, or you may have something that doesn't have it yet. Just know all of our accessories are going to be in this nice green bag that you can actually throw in your compost, Dave. You don't need to do a one of these specialized compost bins. If you have a compost bin at home, it'll break down in your compost bin. I tried it in mine and it broke down, and that's why we're using it. Made out of cornstarch, Dave. And then Sarah did a fabulous job trying to source this for us. It took a long time. It is not an easy process to find this in bulk so that you can make them into bags like this, but we were able to find a supplier that could give us that and get all the certifications for all that stuff. So if you see this blue bag, know that you're getting a biodegradable, compostable type of bag. I just wanted to point that out. Very cool. Back to our EncorePro. So in the box, you're going to get this cable. All you're going to do, if you get this in the box, is you will see. Let me bring it up to the tabletop. Let me get my pointer. Here's a pro tip. Or give me a pro tip.
Get ready for a pro tip.
Pro tip numero 5. When you get our headsets or the Plantronics headsets in the box, you're going to have this intelligent cord. The first thing you're going to want to do is identify this little, there we go, this little area here that has numbers on it, okay? It's typically going to be at all the way left, all right? That's going to work across most phones. But there are phones like Cisco. There are phones like NEC phones, Nitsuko phones. Those phones don't use a standard pinout. So on the back where it says headset, you're going to need to change the setting on here. All right. All you do is slide it over, make a test call. Sounds good. You're all set. And somewhere in the box or in the bag, there's a little cover. And by the way, you get instructions on all this. We got videos. It'll tell you exactly what to do, what those numbers are. I believe there should be. There it is. Once it starts working, you get dial tone. Just take this little doohickey, put it right back on there and cover it up. All right. And you're all set. Now you can plug this end to the Plantronics headset. The other end is going to plug into your headset port on your EncorePro. I'm sorry. This end will plug into your telephone on the headset port. All right. And then when you get all that done, I would love if you send us your picture of whatever phone or you wearing your headset, and we'll give you a mention. Mention us on social medias. We're on the different platforms. We'll love to highlight you and promote you, shout you out on all of our platforms. So that's the EncorePro stereo version, mono version. Let me open that up so that I can show you what you get inside the box besides this cord. You're gonna in the mono version, you get this nice elegant headset, and it comes with a little like a carry case if you're traveling around with it, or you could just put it away and store it away. You get all the user guide, that's all in there. And in the stereo version, so you can see, this is one already that I left in the box. So that's the cable that came with it. And you get all of the user guides there too. And you've got stereo version. So I'm going to just move this one to the side so that we can just highlight the mono version. All right. You get a couple of different things here. We're going to highlight this in our hero section as well. And Dave, we did talk about who this is really for that home, not really at home, but that person going into the office and needing some comfortable headset. Why would somebody want to spend the money on this type of product, Dave?
Man, that is a premium solution. If you look at the corded headsets that Poly offers, this Encore series, this is just a gem. It's hard to show within pictures and on video how substantial that feels, right? That is not cheap plastic. You can tell by holding that is made out of premium materials, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And not only that, Dave, but the design is different than most headsets. Most headsets are basically in a fixed position, both for the speakers as well as the mic. They may be just fixed. This one has a few different things so that it can pivot, it can rotate. You're going to get the best positioning possible on the microphone. Imagine if I was talking to you like this the entire time during the broadcast. You're like, I can't hear you. The same thing happens when you use a headset. If you have it too far out, let me put it on so you can get a better idea. If you have the headset, let me turn this way, like this, and it's this far out, it's like me being way over here.
Mm-hmm.
If you have, and the microphones are so good because they're made to pick up your voice. If you have it right in line, right in here, if you're watching me on TikTok like this, or just right below your lip line, it's like me coming in here and talking to you like this the whole time. You get a nice, rich, intimate sounding voice talking to you as if they were in the room. Yeah. And that's how you want to position it. Now, Dave, like you said, you also get these speakers that pivot and rotate. And what is cool about that, let me show that to you close up, is you see they move. You see that they move, right? And this flexibility to move up and down as well as rotate it is what gives it the comfort. Because if they're locked into this fixed position, if your head isn't the ideal shape, which most people aren't, you're not going to want to wear this for very long. It's going to bother your ears. It's going to feel uncomfortable and all the rest. So that's great that you have that built in with this product. That's why it is a premium product, because most headsets do not do those functions.
Yeah. And you know what, Rolando, when like you're pointing out, if a headset is comfortable, your agents are going to be able to take more phone calls. Your agents are going to sound better to your clients. They'll also be able to hear their clients better, spend less time on that phone call, and move on to the call after. You know, I've been in many call centers, and sometimes we go in there and they say that the audio just sounds bad. It's like, well, what are your 2 or 3 top complaints that you're hearing from the agents? And they'll say customers can't hear them very well. Mm-hmm. If you're a call center manager, supervisor, or even worker, if customers don't hear you well, look at the people that are on the phone. If their headsets aren't comfortable, they tend to wear them back a little bit because they don't want them resting. They're trying to make them comfortable. And in the process of doing so, like Rolando was pointing out, the microphone moves from in front of your mouth to upwards as you kind of do that.
Yeah. Or in the wrong position. You don't want to. Again, it's like me talking out here. You could kind of hear me, but not very well. You got to wait for me to get close to the mic in order for that voice to be picked up properly. The headset is exactly the same way, works in the exact same way.
So when they're designing this, they're designing it with comfort in mind, along with sound quality, along with durability. But that comfort feature, it's so important. If the name of the game is call center, hey, they understand that user, that 4 hours on a phone before they even have a chance for a break. So they want to make products that can sit on agents' heads for, an entire shift. And like I said, just be a more effective tool to get the job quickly, to get the job accomplished quickly, and then move on to that next call. So having a high-end premium product like this, it's going to result, in the very least, as a more comfortable option for your people.
Absolutely, Dave. Where's my... no, that one didn't. Yeah, that button's a little slow. Ding. Absolutely, Dave. You know what I forgot to show? So when you have a headset like this, actually all the Plantronics headsets, all the EncorePro series are going to have this. They call it the QD. QD stands for quick disconnect. So you're going to take the one end of the headset and you're going to plug it into the cable that came in the box, and they'll snap together so that they can quickly disconnect. Like what Dave was saying, you got to go on a break with the quick disconnect. This is the other part that makes it a premium. You're taking your break, you got to go. You don't have to like leave this and take this off your neck. It's all about efficiency. You just boom, take it out. Now you get up and you go on your break. You come back to your workstation, plug back in. No need to do all the monkeying. It's all about efficiency, especially when you're talking about several people, hundreds of people that are doing this all day long. And especially if you're on the phone lots, the last thing you want to do is move more hands and do more movements than you need. This just makes it so much easier. Just boop, take your break, unplug, and you go with it. And you have a little cloth clip, so you could pin it to your shirt or your blouse. You could pin it on the side. Everybody has their own preference on how they gonna use this little clip here, but you can essentially secure it to yourself so that the cable doesn't get caught on anything on your desk or as you're leaving your desk with it on you. So that's that. Let's go to the superhero powers. Let's bring out Guy. Where are you, Guy? Guy. Thank you, Guy. Comfort, as Dave said, is the number one thing. It's the superhero power here that makes the EncorePro worth talking about. You gotta be on the phones all day long. This is definitely something that you want to consider as one of your top choices. The EncorePro, and again, we include the telephone cable in the box so you can connect it to your phone. Then the telescopic mic boom. We kind of alluded to it, but let me show you. The telescopic boom, as you can see at this end here, it can retract and it can come out. And it does that so it can give you the best way to capture a voice. Now, because everybody's faces are different, some are bigger, some are longer, it has a way to do that so it can adjust to different face sizes. Love that part about it, because what you want to sound like this when you're talking to somebody, rather than feeling like you're having to shout and they can't hear you and you're shouting into a microphone. And that telescopic boom allows you to bring that voice, bring that richness, bring that audio forward so that your customers can hear you better. Wearability. Dave was all over it about wearability. This thing, you can just put it on your head. It adjusts up and down on the ear cushion. It pivots, it rotates, so you can wear it left or you can wear it right. Let's say I'm drinking coffee at my workstation. You know, a lot of headsets, they come in a fixed position with the microphone boom. You can't really, all you can do is up and down. But again, it's all about efficiency, especially if you're on a lot of calls. So watch this. I can move the boom away from my face. I can bring it in. So if I want that cup of coffee, it's out of the way.
And that's an actual pivot point. That's not just flexing outwards, is it?
That's right. It pivots. So it goes in and out. Well, let me see. Let me do it this way. You can see it comes in. So it tucks in and I could swing it out.
I think you could actually call that the coffee mode.
Coffee mode. I like it, Dave. I like it. You're on fire today.
Yeah.
All right. So the wearability, the superior audio, the boom being one of these booms that allows you to bring the microphone in as well as telescoping it out. What was the last one? And oh yes, we've got warranty. Dave, anybody, especially if we're talking in order. Now I'm talking to my IT brethren here. If you've got a lot of these or you've used headsets in the past, you know that at some point somebody may just snap a cord or their chair runs under it. You know, maybe step on it. You know, they may dunk their coffee. I've seen them all, Dave. The coffee gets dunked in the microphone and it stops working. You're gonna have to go to warranty service, right?
You do, and I'll tell you, it's nice because it preserves your budget, right? If you're upgrading your call center and you know that the products have a 2-year warranty associated with them, you can plan ahead for that within your budget. You know that for the $100 that the headset costs, you won't need to spend any more money during the course of 2 years if something should happen to it.
That's
If you
right, you're covered.
yeah, and it's super easy to do. I've done it myself. Paulie has a portal. You register the product with a user. You then can go in at any time and you can just select that you need a replacement, and they send you all of the instructions. They turn it around super easy. Listen, when I got into the business of headsets, all of the brands had already started doing something with warranty, and because it's so competitive, they all want it to be better than the other person, and that makes it exciting to sell premium products. Because I really wish warranties for headsets. I wish warranties for other items that I've purchased were as easy to get replaced as headsets, because they really do make it so simple.
Plantronics particularly, they do make it very easy, especially for folks that have lots of these out there. And we've dealt with all the manufacturers. They make it very easy for you to register it and get warranty support. No like monkeying around with it and jerking your chain. It's broken, doesn't work. You get a replacement within 2 years.
Yeah. So Paulie just wants to make sure that your people are back up and running. So if you take a product that has all of these features, plus the durability, plus the warranty, things will happen that are out of people's control. It might get in the hands of a person that is leaving the organization. Let's say it gets thrown across the room out of aggression, because sometimes
it happens in a call
work.
Man.
Of course it does.
It happens, the people will get frustrated, and props to anybody that works in a call center. It's not easy work. You're dealing with people, and people are the hardest thing to deal with rather than technology. I'd rather sit in a room with servers. They don't talk back. It'll break down almost predictably, but people will talk back, talk dirty in a bad way, not the good dirty talk, but bad dirty talk, right? And just rip you a new one just because they're in a foul mood. And it's hard work being a call center. So props to all the call center workers out there, as well as the managers that have to manage those. Hey, shout out to Richard Blank. Speaking of call centers, Richard Blank, shout out to you. Costa Rica's call centers. Plug in for your call center today.
And what a super nice guy he was. And listen, I loved the culture that he was creating with his workers, because he understands that working with people can be difficult sometimes within a customer service type role. And he's created a culture where everyone is treated in a way where that sort of aggressive customer doesn't affect their next phone call, I'd say, or something. They're all there to support each other.
Yeah,
what he's doing.
Great guy. Richard, props to you. Keep doing that good work down in Costa Rica with your call center. And he's doing a fabulous job there. And Dave, we've got the last thing about this thing that it's a small thing, but again, along those same lines for those folks that are bringing this to multiple people in their organization. When you use a product like this, the thing that will wear out the quickest and the most is the ear cushion. And so you eventually get to a point where, and that's our last superpower on this one. The ear cushions on this are so easy to replace. We can go through so many products and try to replace the ear cushions, but let me show you. Here's the ear cushion. This thing just pops right out. And then you just get another pair or 10 more or however many you need. And the new ones will just pop right in. Hear that snap? You're good to go. No guesswork. I love it, Dave. Nice. This is something where it is totally a superhero feature, and not all manufacturers have that very easy snap off and snap back on. Gotta love it. I love it, especially when you have a lot of these laying around, and you don't want again, it's about taking frustration levels down. And if you're a headset person, an office manager, and you have people, just buy a box of these, and we sell a bunch of these EncorePro cushions. We have those available. And just have again, a box of these laying around. They get worn out, boom, your people are right back in business. No need to be like, yo, I don't know how to put this on there. It's not sticking on there, because some are glued onto the speaker, Dave.
I've seen it.
And they tear, they rip, they kind of forget about it. This one's just snap in, snap out, and you're back in the game.
Nice.
Awesome. Now, let's bring out our kryptonite guy, Mr. Barbosa. Where is he? I had to think about this one, Dave, because there's a lot of things going on that's right about this product. Now, this is a premium product. I'm going to say this. This is a premium product. But in the minds of the average person, or even the average IT guy, my fellow brethren IT people that are out there, not all headsets are created equal. So when you compare this to a $25 headset, you're doing a disservice to yourself and to the products that you probably could enjoy better quality audio from. But given what it is, it's not the cheapest product out there in the land. There are cheaper products out there from a headset perspective than this one. And so that's the only knock that I could find, Dave, that I would hear comments or see other comments that it's quote expensive. But given that you do have a 2-year warranty, so you could look at this. Let's just say this is $100 headset with the telephone cable included, by the way, Dave. That's essentially $50 per year from a budgeting perspective, because you're covered for those 2 years, like you said earlier, if something goes wrong. So essentially you've paid $50 for 1 year, $50 for the next year. And if in year number 2 it breaks, you actually get the replacement. You're entitled to a replacement. So you actually get in that replacement gives you a 1 year a 1 year warranty on the replacement one. I believe it's a 1 year, right, Dave? Is it, or did you get another full 2 years on replacement?
I'm not sure if things have changed on that.
It used to be a 1 year on the replacement product.
It may depend on when you go in for the warranty service. If for some reason you have to have it serviced within the first 8 months during a 2-year period, I believe you get the full 2-year warranty applied back to that replacement product.
And there you go. But at a minimum, you're going to get another 3rd year, right?
Yep.
So you can essentially count on about a 3-year window. So if you were to break that down over a 3-year period where you have no cost to you if it goes down, you're looking at about a $33 product, which puts it in the range of all the budget products out there. So on paper, it looks like you're paying for way too much. But when you break it down over the life of the product, which at a minimum could be 3, at most could be 4 when you're covered, you're basically paying the same price of a cheapo product you'd find online, which does not have a 2-year warranty. And some of them don't even have beyond 1 year. Some of them are just a 1 year. So people are just cranking out and buying a bunch of these and not realizing you could save yourself the hassle and inconvenience of having to just have a big bin of cheapo headsets that you're just going through and probably spending way more money than a really good product that will take care of you for the 3 years that you're going to use it, and maybe even beyond that.
And then, of course, you need to absorb the soft costs of using bad tools, bad customer service,
yes,
not
repeating
taking
audio.
enough phone calls, repeating yourself, mistakes. A premium product is going to do your business a major service. Make sure that you're looking at premium. If you're trying to offer a premium solution or premium service to your customers, use premium tools or suffer the consequences.
Yeah. Stop doing that, Dave.
Oh no!
That's right.
Don't do that to yourself, Dave. Using a cheapo product thinking you're going to get away with it. And you know what? that's the way you got to talk to people that are really budget conscious, because although the bottom line matters, also the bottom line matters. The full bottom line matters, not just the I'm paying this today, because you're going to absorb costs along the way after you get that product in the hands of your people, whether
Well
they're
said.
soft costs that you can't quite measure or direct costs by having to keep constantly replacing products that are inferior.
Well said. You know, you definitely get what you pay for. The reason why we get excited about the products that we sell is because we know that they are superior to so many other solutions that are out there. We don't want to offer cheap stuff. We don't want to just move plastic. We
Yep.
want to offer solutions that are going to help everyone win-win at the end of the day.
Right. And, you know, today being Tech Tuesday, I was sporting my 404 error. To all my tech brethren that may be watching, and maybe you're not tech, but you've seen that before. It's a IT thing, right? And I just want to celebrate all those IT managers out there today that on Tech Tuesday, if you're looking for a product, you're looking for a home that can take care of your business, that has expertise. Again, we've been doing this for 20 years, Dave, 20 years. Celebrate. I'm going to give ourselves some props here. 20 years in the business, celebrating this year, our 20th year. We can help you with hardware like we've been showing today. We also have a sister side of the division that does services, where we provide internet services and platforms like Zoom Phone and Ring and Vonage. And what you get with us is the full spectrum. We could tell you what's going to work well within your business from a platform perspective, an internet perspective, and marry that with the hardware, Dave. Instead of just saying, go online and buy whatever headset or speakerphone or thing, it'll work.
Right.
We can make sure that both worlds come together very nicely and they play well with each other and help you with that one-stop shop.
Yes, sir.
So I want to thank you for joining. I want to thank my TikTok brethren, where we had a poll about Thanksgiving. And I can't read it because the monitor is so far away, but I want to thank all the people that joined us on TikTok, watched us from all around the world. What I could see there, the Canada and Germany and Mexico and where else, in Liechtenstein, Philippines. What other country? It's kind of in there, but it's hard to read because the screen is really small. But I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Canada, our superhero from Canada, Guy A. All of us joining, and around on the other platforms as well. If you like this content and it's been helpful to you, go ahead, bump the like button so that the platforms can bring more to you. And Dave and I are in. Oh, wait, there you go. You can go that Ori. Dave and I are in several other videos that you want to check out, because if you want to sound like a hero and not a zero, you want to check these two videos out so that you can sound and look your best. We'll see you in those videos.